Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca, and today I am joined by a friend whom I unexpectedly met over LinkedIn and all. But you know what? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Bianca. My name is Amanda. I'm the founder and CEO of BackScoop. It's a media startup that focuses on Southeast Asian startups and tech. We basically have two products. Our first, and probably the one that we're actually known for the most, is the daily newsletter called BackScoop that basically gives you all the latest news that you need to know from Southeast Asian tech in minutes every morning. And the second product, which we just launched last month, is a podcast called One More Scoop. Basically, you can listen to us just have a chat with a founder, executive, or VC from Southeast Asia. And this is not the usual thought leader kind of stuff, but it's a more casual personal chat.
And how I first got to know Amanda at that point of time, I think you were first starting out with BackScoop, the first product itself. And Amanda, remind me, how did we actually started chatting until today pretty much?
Yeah, so I think I remember posting on LinkedIn a lot and then basically sharing about myself in BackScoop. So people would, I guess, frequently connect with me because of that or because of the newsletter itself. And Bianca was one of those people. We arranged for a call just to get to know each other. It was super casual, no real inkling that we'd become friends. And then we didn't really keep in touch or talk after that much. Then I posted on LinkedIn this time about me visiting Malaysia, where Bianca is based, and she had messaged me a couple while after I posted that. I forgot if it's the same day or later in the week. And we never really arranged a time to meet while I was in Malaysia.
It was me being the Malaysian that I am. And I was just sending you all the food recommendations. And
yes,
ask any Malaysian or kind of throw a stone to any Malaysian, there's a high chance they'll all recommend you to this particular restaurant called Village Park, where they serve an iconic dish called nasi lemak with ayam goreng. So basically it's coconut rice with fried chicken. I probably hyped it up a lot for Amanda because that was the first place you went right after touching down in Malaysia.
Yeah, so Bianca was the first person to actually give me food recommendations in Malaysia. And then I think two other people ended up recommending the same place, Village Park. Then I think I read that Anthony Tan also eats there. So I was like, okay, I have to go here. So after arriving in Malaysia that same morning, I went to the hotel. And right after, I went to Village Park, straight away. Super excited to eat the food, not sure what to expect. It was so good. But then obviously as a tourist, you're always looking around at the restaurant, at wherever you are. And then I felt like I saw someone who looked familiar, out of the corner of my eye, literally just maybe 2-3 tables away. And I was having a hard time figuring out who it was. And then at some point in my meal, I was like, oh my God, it's Bianca. The person who recommended this very restaurant to me is sitting here. Maybe she eats here every week, 3 times a week.
Wish.
What are the chances, right, that she's there? I doubt she was there because she knew I was coming, right? So I was really amazed that she was eating there on that same day.
Yeah, how you just saw me and you're like, wait, hang on, is that Bianca? And then I still remember which corner I was sitting. I was actually there with a friend because she was going to fly off to UK soon for a master's degree. And then I just thought of having a lunchtime session with her. Again, from the corner of my eye, I was like, hang on, you look familiar. And I have to admit, at first I thought it was one of my juniors from college. I was like, wait, no, I don't think that's her. But something tells me that you look really familiar. Okay, so long story short, because at Village Park, you actually still need to pay by cash. Unless it's a big group, then I think you can do bank transfer. But anyway, my friend ended up going to one of those ATMs just to get some cash. And then whilst I was just waiting over there, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just quickly check my phone for any messages. Amanda was like, I'm at Village Park right now. Wait, what? And I was just like, okay, was this yesterday, today, or maybe a few hours ago? I was like, no, you're right here right now. And then I just put out
minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, okay, wait, hang on. How does Amanda look like again? Let me check the profile picture. Wait, is that her?
That person.
Yeah. Oh, hi. You're right there. Okay. Oops.
Yeah.
We didn't plan this out. And the next thing you know, okay, then that's how we officially started chatting.
Yes. Wow. am I gonna see like so many people that know me from BackScoop here? Is that like how it is? You
Yeah.
gave me like the feeling that I was famous from the touchdown, and then we became friends.
Yeah, famous. So you were there for like a weekish, yeah, for an event. Because my
Yeah.
goodness, she's like at the point of time, she's like 20 and already an MC at this big event. Well, okay, one of those like interview, like those panelists. But I think just to kind of like further on with those random fun bits of the story, I think you were in Malaysia until Sunday basically. And then I remember on Saturday night, I was just minding my own business in my room. And next thing you know, I forgot, was it 8 o'clock or 9 or
Just late at night.
Yeah. And then you just texted me and you're just like, hey, Bianca, do you want to go to Genting Highlands tomorrow together? Huh? Oh, okay, you're still here.
It was totally unprecedented because like I
then,
didn't really mention anything to you, right? Like we didn't really chat that much. We didn't even text that much. And then suddenly I just text you like, you want to go to Genting Highlands?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. I reckon at the point of time, you probably need a tour guide. Oh yeah, sure, let's go. And it was your first time riding a roller coaster. And we did the crazy ones.
I never even did like the kiddie roller coasters. I'd always been like deathly afraid of them. But then like Bianca and I decided to go on like the scariest roller coaster in Genting Highlands. I can't
3
really
times.
describe it properly, but you basically have to lie down forward position and you look like you're in a cage. And they put you up and down, fast and slow. And we did that 3 times.
And it's like basically Superman in a cage. And we somehow just did that 3 times. And then we did all these kind of like crazy loop-de-loops. And I mean, that was just like all like those fun stories to share, like how we ended up staying in contact, even though like you're now back to the Philippines and I'm still based in Malaysia.
Yeah, it's been like 9 months, right? Since then.
Thanks for the experience and all that. I mean, it's always like a fun thing whenever I kind of like reminisce about the past. It was one hell of a ride, like figuratively and literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like you wouldn't have expected at any point like that would even keep in touch. Like even I didn't know even after like the roller coaster thing, but like now we still regularly talk. And then I sent you grab food. You have the same favorite drink from the same yogurt drink store.
Yes, me and Amanda were just slowly just developing a yogurt addiction. No, I have the yogurt addiction first. And then
she's brainwashing me.
Yes, I am. Even from afar, like from the far lands of Malaysia. Yeah, that's pretty much like how it all kickstarted out. And I was just thinking now to kind of like shift gears a bit. Also just to share some really interesting parts about yourself with the audience. Because I have to admit that you have a really interesting story, especially, as a, dang it, younger person than me. And your whole journey with BackScoop. Yeah, I feel like an old lady whenever I speak to you and all. I'm like 3 years older, but it's just
acting like 7 years older.
Amanda, okay, can you like share a bit more about the origins of BackScoop and how does this all worked out? Because you are just such a young entrepreneur, and I'm pretty sure the path, the journey all the way up to today hasn't been easy. And I just want to ask you more about it.
Yeah, I guess I can start from what got me into startups in the first place. So I had been on a gap year because of COVID. Long story short, I graduated from high school in the pandemic, so I decided to take that year off. A few months after taking the gap year, I discovered a Philippine startup here that's basically a coding bootcamp. And I thought, no, I wouldn't join the startup. I would be a customer of the startup. I wanted to learn how to code at that coding bootcamp and maybe build an app or join a company part-time over the gap year and, either make a lot of money or build like a really cool app. I mean, you can dream.
Yes, I understand. Oh well.
I think it's clear that I didn't achieve that. I didn't end up learning how to code because it was way too hard for me, no matter how I tried. And I was basically getting ready to find something else to do over the gap year because I believe that, you don't want to work too hard on being good at your weaknesses. You want to focus on your strengths. So I was really getting ready to go. And the founders told me like, maybe don't go, don't leave the course. Maybe just join us as the first intern and first employee. And I was like, well, there's nobody that's looking to hire me, an 18-year-old intern in the pandemic anyway. I don't have any other opportunities and I don't know where to find anymore. So might as well take the one that's right in front of me. Yep. So I decided to join that startup and I had been there for about a year. And by that time, I really saw such a big difference one, like I learned a lot about startups. They're super exciting. I didn't really know much about startups, even smaller ones in the US. I really only knew about like Facebook, Dropbox, and everyone knows that those aren't
Yeah.
really like startups anymore. So
Yep.
I really learned like what's a real startup, what's the difference between early stage, late stage, all of the fundraising thing. But I think beyond just learning about startups in general and in Southeast Asia, I got to learn a lot more about myself. So I was able to sort of develop a lot more confidence internally as a person. I think when you're in school, you become confident because of external things, grades, the clothes that you wear, what people say about you. But after working for a year, especially at a startup where you're really learning a lot of skills from zero, you're doing a lot of things that you don't know, but you have to know about them, you have to learn them and get good at them. It gave me that intrinsic confidence in myself that, I could learn anything from scratch and I could learn to do it. Amazing things can be done if you put the time, effort, and, you continuously learn. And I think because of that, I was able to think of like, maybe I'm not going to go back to school. Maybe I actually don't need to go back to school for now. Maybe I can actually take this new path and actually make it through and build my career this way, because I believe now that I can just continue acquiring the skills that I need to succeed. And apart from that, confidence in myself and that new belief that there was this alternative path where I could start a career even without going to college. I was also starting to see things in the startup world. Because of my job, I had to continuously read about Southeast Asian startup news. I realized that there was no easy way to keep up with Southeast Asian tech news. And at that point, 1 year into my job, I knew that if you want to build a startup that works, you have to start with solving a real problem. And I thought, okay, I have this problem and I know it's real. A lot of people find it very difficult to keep up with Southeast Asian tech news. And the second thing was, okay, am I going to be able to solve this problem? Then I realized like, okay, I have a solution for this problem, a newsletter. Maybe it would make it really fun and easy to keep up with Southeast Asian tech news. And I think the third piece was I willing to take the jump, right? And start a startup. And that's where the sort of renewed confidence in myself came in. I started to realize that, look, I can take the risk, and whether I fail or not, it's actually a worthwhile experience. And I believe that, sure, maybe I was not the most skilled person. There are lots more experienced founders. I mean, I was somebody who only had 1 year of job experience. But with this new sort of belief in myself, I realized that maybe I can actually still learn the skills. So I put that all together. I was like, okay, I'm actually just going to take the leap. I'd regret it if I don't build this startup, because I believe it's a real problem. I believe I could possibly make it work. And even if it doesn't work, I think it's still worthwhile. So I think that's really how it started.
Thanks a lot. I have to just say, like, you have guts. Because not everyone would have this courage to just sway away from this conventional path of get good grades, go to university, get a good, ideally prestigious job, high paying, then only take the leap. But then you, at such a young age, well, how old is BackScoop right now?
It's about a year and a half plus more. So it started in August 2021.
Yeah. So given that you have already like brought BackScoop to, the stage that it is within like just 1.5 years, or if you want to just extrapolate in 2 years at most, I mean, that's actually pretty impressive. And you're just, dang it, you're just 21. If I'm not mistaken, I think a few months back, you already started entering B2B as well, like making advertising revenues.
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive. It's just something that I hope that if anybody who's listening today, they find it inspirational. Amanda's just a regular girl from the Philippines who is just really adventurous and just hoping to just try out something new. And she just did it and just went for it.
I think like what I do also want to share is that I was also super like risk averse. I used to think I was a risk taker in high school, but then I realized I only really took like calculated risk. It's not really that much of a risk to run for student council. Like it's not that scary. There is not much to lose except, the fact that you lost the thing, or like joining these new activities. I feel like sure, those are like mild risks, but I don't think I was ever somebody who would be courageous enough to, take a big risk like what I'm doing now. My plan was exactly what you said earlier. I would go to school, get really good grades, and I did. I dedicated a lot of my time to like studying and really just like finding whatever way I could to push myself in that direction. But then I think once life has other plans for you and it sort of ruins your plans in a sense, and you have to sort of pick up the pieces, I think that opportunity allowed me to sort of slowly learn that there was more than just one way to live your life, and there could be alternative paths that you could take that might get you to the same end goal, maybe better or faster than your original plan. And working at a startup and sort of realizing that, look, even after my plans got destroyed, I could actually pick up the pieces again. Sure, I'm still afraid, but I was still confident enough to take the risk. I would never have done this before. If I had a friend who did this, I'd tell them that they're crazy. So that's the truth.
So you became that friend, if you think about it. Yeah. And you just like felt the fear and just do it anyway. And actually on that note, talk to any startup founders and their work hours and the level of devotion that they need to have for their company is just insane. And I just thought of asking Amanda, kind of like also just to gauge how your day-to-day life is like and how do you stay sane?
I think with early stage founders, especially for first time ones that like similar to myself, we're definitely going to have a lot of long hours. I had a lot of long hours in the past, like the first, for example, 6 months, 1 year I started BackScoop. And now it's also still long hours, but the nature of the work changes. I think in the beginning, it's a lot of manual tasks, but over time, I think you start to have more thinking intensive tasks, or you have to have tasks that are across different functions even more and with different people, like stakeholders, all the more like as you grow. Like, for example, for me, I think at this point, I'd had a lot more functions, I'd have a lot more roles to do. So it's a great time for me to grow my team. So that's why I also have a new team member now and I'm passing on the task to her. So I think one of the ways that sort of I stay sane is also constantly like checking in with myself. What is the work I'm doing? How has it changed in the past? Am I adapting to the changes properly? So there are lots of times I changed my sleep schedule, work schedule, and the way I work, just because I knew that, you know, the nature of the job is changing, my roles are changing, and I need to also adapt to that to stay sane. Like, for example, if I didn't have this team member, I would have much longer hours. And I feel like I wouldn't have as much time to think about more important things as well. And maybe beyond just saying like much longer hours, I feel like I wouldn't have enough time period to get what I want done. Another side of like how to stay sane, I would say, is like also knowing yourself. So I know that I enjoy working long hours. I know that I really love my job, but I also know that as the person and as somebody who's always tried to see like what helps me stay sane, I always tried to look at that over time as I've been working. I figured out like 3 things for me. I think one, the most basic thing that I need, if I don't have time for any of those other things. The first thing I need apart from sleep is, how do I add parts of my day where I'm making myself happy, excited, or getting to rest? So maybe that's ordering a nice drink in the middle of the day. That's something I can look forward to. That's something
Yogurt.
Nice. Yeah, like yogurt, but usually coffee. That's like one thing that's like breaks up the work time and actually makes you happy, makes you look forward to something, or even just a good meal. One thing I like to do is look for a restaurant where I can eat like in person, so I can actually walk for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and sort of get that break from work. So the second level, okay, let's say I've added those things. I've added those small times in my day where I can just, you know, enjoy a drink, eat a meal, walk around, or maybe watch YouTube. After that, like the second layer of things is I try to find a hobby. So that's something I did a few months ago. I started keeping fish, and I think it's important to have this kind of hobby where it can engage you every day, but doesn't require you to sort of continually make an effort all the time. For example, with the fish keeping, I just need to feed the fish every morning. I don't have to do anything else. And then I can just look at the fish. And it's always something different. It's always engaging, and it's also very relaxing. And the only time I really need to make an effort for this hobby is on weekends when I have to clean the tank, or let's say there's an emergency, I feel like a fish is sick. But it's not that labor intensive, and it's more enjoyable on a day-to-day basis. And what's also great about that hobby is that it always like changes, and you can always engage with it in a different way. For example, you can always build a new tank, you can always get a new fish. It's always easy to layer something onto it. There's a lot of room for growth. So my third thing, this sort of third layer, if I've got those 2 checked in, something I'm working on now, which is adding like a value add hobby. For example, for me, that's working out. Okay. For others, it might be a hobby. They might love it. They might really look forward to working out. They might really like research a lot, and etc. For me, that's not it. Like, I'll work out because it's good for my mind. It's good for my health. But I don't look forward to it. I don't necessarily get super excited about it in the same way I get excited about my fish or maybe other hobbies that I have. And why? I think that working out as a hobby, it you have to physically go to the gym or you have to physically start exercising, and then it's difficult. It's super easy to give up midway in the exercise every single day, and it's not that enjoyable, at least like for me. So that's how I approach things, and I experimented a lot with it in the past like almost 2 years, and that's the way it works for me. And that's how I stay sane. Of course, apart from, keeping in touch with like friends like Bianca and making time to sleep and just go out from time to time on the weekends. I think one great tip I got from another like ex-founder and a VC, Sukan, if he's listening to this, from Iterative, he told me that it's nice to just like go out once, like maybe a few days or I think a day, and just like be yourself. Like you're not gonna be Bianca from your VC firm. I'm not gonna be Amanda from BackScoop. I'm just gonna be a regular, ordinary person and not look at my email, not look at my work, not think of any work. And I've tried to do that a couple of times, and that's super helpful.
Just take a break.
Yeah, like take a break and really don't think about it. Don't think about your work, don't talk about it, etc. So yeah, those 3 things. So number 1, little things in your day. Number 2, hobby that you actually enjoy. 3, value add hobby. For me, that's working out. And then apart from that, get enough sleep, keep in touch with your friends, go on the occasional days where you just disassociate totally from your job.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I have to say, I think you're probably one of the first people that I've met who actually thought about this to a very in-depth extent. It's a very structured way, and it's definitely something that for anyone out there who is trying to come up with a mental framework on how you could live your life in a happier and healthier sense. I mean, just on a random side note, I just remember, it's not like almost every other week, you'll be like, Bianca, new fish, here's a photo.
See, that's how the hobby is engaging.
Oh, okay, new fish. Okay, what about a cat?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just something it's just a simple joy that I can definitely feel like Amanda was really enjoying. Well, next thing you know, I don't know, maybe tomorrow she'll just tell me that she got a new fish. It'll be kind of funny.
Maybe next week. And I'm thinking like a shrimp, not a new fish this time. Like a mini shrimp.
Okay. Oh, I have to really thank you, Amanda, for taking the time to have a chat. I would say in real life, we chat about any random things in life as well.
We usually talk about more stupid, mundane, regular things.
Yeah.
Lots of YouTube shorts.
Yeah, watch some YouTube shorts, share some random memes and all that. But of course, it's just like for the benefit of everyone. And also because, I mean, Amanda really has an inspirational story to share. I just thought of just helping out to spread the reach of BackScoop. Oh, speaking of which, because Amanda, I mean, you're always constantly finding subscribers. So for anybody who wants to check out BackScoop, I do actually have a referral link in my description. So
check Bianca's referral link in the description box. Yeah, so if Bianca gets 20 referrals through her referral link down below, she'll get like a free BackScoop t-shirt. And if you use Bianca's referral link and you sign up, then you can also start getting the chance to get your own t-shirt.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And for anyone out there, try to follow BackScoop. And in case this video happens to be something interesting for you, do consider hitting the like, subscribe, or bell icon.
Don't consider it. Just do it. Subscribe, like, notification bell, leave a comment.
That's pretty much all the things you can do to help. And I really appreciate that. All right, thank you so much, and have a nice day ahead, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye-bye.